What's up, Jerron Mob? We are back with another video. I hope you guys are staying safe out there, staying at home, social distancing, all that stuff. I know you guys keep hearing about it, but I really truly hope you guys are staying safe. But like I said, we're back at it again with another video. I have no idea why we're getting all these signature sneaker leaks when coronavirus is hitting the nation or the world for that fact. But ever since we've been in our homes, self-quarantining, I mean, a ton of sneakers have been leaking online. We just talked about the Nike KD13. That sneaker leaked, so if you haven't checked out that video, you could do so by clicking the link on the screen. But today we're gonna be talking about the Nike Zoom Freak 2. Here they are, guys.
What are those?
And I know what you guys are thinking, and let me just stop you guys before you make your final thoughts on these. It's really easy to trash a sample sneaker. I mean, it's low-hanging fruit. What we're seeing in this photo is clearly a very early version of what might be the Nike Zoom Freak 2. So I think everybody hates when they first look at a shoe. Everyone's instinct is to be like, those are horrible. They're not as good as the first ones, but I actually like these. I know that might be a little surprising to you guys, but I think if you made this into a plain black and white colorway, I think these would look absolutely great. I mean, it's a much more aggressive design than its predecessor. And aside from that large reverse swoosh that was outlined on the midsole of the Freak 1s, Giannis's signature sneaker debut was a pretty basic, straightforward design, while these just have sharper angles and an overall much slimmer look. But before we get into the breakdown of the Freak 2s, I would love to hear what you guys have to say about these. So drop a comment down below. Let us know what you think about these. I also think it's important that before we break it down, we talk about its predecessor, its father, if you will, the Nike Zoom Freak 1, and what Nike could have improved on for the sequel. Now, the Freak 1 retailed for $120, which it was a decent performing sneaker, but that was slightly more expensive than some of its other counterparts like the Nike PG3. However, the Freak 1 technically had more technology in it with double stack zoom units in the heel as opposed to the PG3's singular unit in the forefoot. Now, what's interesting is this double stack zoom setup was very comfortable, but when you started to move around in the forefoot with the Freak 1s, the front of the shoe felt a little lackluster compared to the heel. So I know for myself, I would love to see Nike with the Freak 2s add a zoom unit in the forefoot to go alongside that double stack setup in the heel, but I can totally understand if Nike wants to keep Giannis's signature series under the $150 price tag, so I wouldn't mind two singular units on both ends of the sneaker. I do think though, however, Giannis is emerging as a top 3 guy in the league, so I could see his signature series reaching the price point of a guy like Kevin Durant with his latest sneaker having double stack zoom units in the heel to go alongside a full-length zoom footbed. But other than that, like I said, the Freak 1 was a pretty basic, straightforward sneaker. If I had to give it a grade performance-wise, it's somewhere in between that C+, B- range. I mean, it wasn't average, it was a little bit better than that, but there was some obvious room for improvement. So let's take a look at the leaked image of the Freak 2, and let's see what Nike has done here. All right, so the first thing that stands out to me is this midsole. It reminds me a lot of the Jordan Why Not 0.2. I mean, if you take a look at the forefoot and the heel, they look independent from each other. And this gets me very excited because what that allows the sneaker to do is it allows the forefoot of the shoe to move independently from the heel. If you ever played in sneakers like the Jordan 28, the 29, you know what I'm talking about. That forefoot is just gonna have a lot more flexibility, and if there's any cushioning in the front of this shoe, if Nike put a zoom unit in the front of the Freak 2, that independence for the forefoot is just gonna allow you to feel that cushioning a lot more. It's gonna allow you to activate it, and it just provides a superior experience in my opinion. So I'm really looking forward to how that's gonna feel on the court, but I also just like how they look visually. I mean, it looks really sharp. I love the visuals. My first impressions of it, it kind of just reminded me of like a Batman shoe. That's just the first thing that stood out to me. There's a lot of sharp lines. Like I said, there's a lot of edges. So that midsole is something that I'm really digging visually and performance-wise, at least based on what I could tell in these photos. Another thing that I love is the swoosh. Now, I'd imagine that some of you guys aren't going to be huge fans of this because that swoosh is absolutely humongous, but I actually really like the design. I mean, the Freak 1 had a huge swoosh as well, so maybe Nike is going to, you know, lean into this, and the Giannis Antetokounmpo signature series is just gonna have bigger and bigger swooshes as the years go by. But I really like the design. I mean, it's something unique. It's integrated into the lacing system. If you take a look at the top of the swoosh, it's pretty much an eyelet, and that's something that I don't really remember seeing on any other sneaker. So not only is it unique, but hopefully it's gonna tie in performance-wise, and it's gonna provide a snug one-to-one fit. But one thing that I'm not liking about this swoosh is if you look at the end of it, it's attached to this weird neoprene pull tab, which I'm not feeling it at all. I know the swoosh has to attach to something, but this pull tab, it just gives it like a kid shoe sandal type vibe. I'm not digging it whatsoever. It could just be the materials, but I really just think Nike could have done without this pull tab on the heel, but that's just me. Another thing that I'm not really liking about these is that logo on the heel. Now, I have nothing against Giannis's logo. I think it's a decent logo, but it just seems weird that it's in that area. Now, is it on the tongue? I can't really tell what's on the tongue. So I think the logo should be on the tongue. It shouldn't really be anywhere else. It could be on the outsole, but on the heel right here, that's just not something I'm liking visually. Like I said, it should only be on the tongue. And matter of fact, that material, that white material that the logo is sitting on top, that's odd. Now, obviously Nike is playing with colors here and patterns here, so I don't think this is gonna be a colorway that you're gonna see drop at retail. So I don't think this is gonna be what the finished product looks like, but if the materials are gonna be like that on the heel with that white overlay, it just looks cheap. I'm not really a huge fan of it. And like I said, that logo just seems very out of place there. Now, as for the materials, like I said, obviously the pattern is trash, but I do like that Nike is experimenting with different graphics, and it looks kind of like, I don't know, I'm not an expert, but it kind of looks like some Greek mythology art here. I don't know, I'm seeing some wings. I don't know, maybe this could tie into Giannis's Greek heritage, which I think was a very big missed opportunity by Nike with the first Freak 1, because, you know, Greek mythology is obviously, you know, everyone knows about it. I thought there could have been like a Icarus colorway, a Zeus colorway, what are some other ones? A Hades colorway. I just thought Nike could really go all out with the Greek mythology theme. It looks like if this graphic is related to Greek mythology or Greek heritage, it looks like Nike is going to lean into that. So at least they're doing something here. It's something unique. It gives the shoe, you know, some personality to it. But as far as the materials, it just looks like a basic mesh. It does look a little more slimmer overall than the Freak 1. I mean, the Freak 1 was a very round looking shoe, whereas the Freak 2, like I said, it just has sharper lines, more edges, more angles. And like I said, those materials do look a lot slimmer. In fact, the Freak 2 in this photo overall, what I'm noticing is it just looks very long and narrow. I mean, the Freak 1 wasn't necessarily a wide sneaker, but like I said, it was more round. The Freak 2s look pretty long and narrow, and wide footers might not enjoy these, but I mean, it's impossible to, you know, deduce that from these photos. I mean, it's just leaked photos. It's just one angle, but if I had to guess with a gun to my head, this shoe does look pretty narrow, which makes sense because Giannis loves playing in Kobe's, and Kobe's are a pretty narrow shoe. Another thing that I'm picking up here is if you guys take a close look at this lacing system and the tongue, I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, but to me, it just kind of looks sideways or angled or kind of put off to the side. And this is making me think that the Freak 2 might have an asymmetrical lacing system, which is very similar to what the KD6s had. It had this weird like off to the side lacing system, which gave it a very visually unique look, but also added some performance benefits. I mean, the fit in that shoe was phenomenal. So like I said earlier, I think the Freak 1 could have had a snappier fit. So changing the lacing system like this, again, it's tough. It's only one photo and one angle of the shoe, but it looks like the lacing system is somewhat angled. It doesn't look like the straightforward lacing system that the Freak 1s had. So I'm pretty excited to see what the Freak 2 is going to look like moving forward as we get more photos and better looks of this shoe. But overall, I mean, honestly, guys, I'm really digging what Nike's doing here with the supposed Freak 2. I mean, I just think it's a better design overall. It's more streamlined, it's slimmer, it's edgier, it's got sharper lines. And I know the colors and the patterns are all out of whack, but I really do like what I'm seeing so far in this photo. I mean, it honestly looks like the Giannis Signature Series is turning into a worthy successor of the Kobe Bryant signature line, which, as a huge Kobe fan and a fan of his sneakers particularly, that gets me very excited. So let me know what you guys think about these in the comments section below. I'm sure once I'm done recording this video, another signature sneaker will leak, which I'll make a video on, so I'll catch you guys in that one. If you haven't already joined the Jerron Mob, you could do so by liking this video and subscribing to the channel for more sneaker related content just like this. Again, guys, my name's Jared. It's great having you. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.